And good evening, and welcome once again to another edition of the Shadow Gallery. I, as I'm always, your host, James Donnelly. And check that watch, people, because you know what time it is. It's time for new comics, bitches! So, let's go. Big week. Lots of stuff this week. Lots of good stuff this week. Thank God. Because some weeks are on, some weeks are off. This is a week that is definitely on. And I ain't just saying that. Just real quick, before we go any further, went into my local comic store, Atomic Comics in Chandler. They had they're having a huge back issue blowout. It's $1 for everything, for every back issue that they have that isn't like, you know, a premium back issue or, you know, like a really old back issue. And so all the stuff they had in their long boxes was $1. I went in, got some stuff that I already have, despite the fact that they're, you know, because I have my long boxes. I have them in 2 residences. I have one at my dad's house. I have a couple at my dad's house, and I have most of them here. I just haven't moved those here. Like I pick up the Christus Gage, Mike Perkins run on the 4-issue Union Jack, London Falling arc again. Actually, well, not the whole thing. I got what I thought was 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I actually bought the 2nd issue twice, so whatever. So I actually own that 3 times now. But I got a whole bunch of old well, not old, but close to the end, well, close to where I started leaving off of the Astounding Wolf-Man, and then started buying basically the trades, so that I could catch up, so I could get the full run. And man, that was a fucking glorious comic. And again, Robert Kirkman, Jason Howard, you know, who are currently, you know, reuniting for Super Dinosaur. Please let us see what you showed us in the finale of Astounding Wolf-Man. Please let that come back. You know, you've practically got your own imprint now, Robert, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. Skybound Entertainment can do this. Anyway, okay, so just a quick shout out to this. I forgot how much I loved that series. And I didn't cut it from my box because it was bad. I just cut it from my box because it was, you know, going through dire economic times and so on and so forth. Anyway, so let's hit what we got this week. I'm going to start off with the disappointments. In a really good week, these are the disappointments. Okay, so we'll start with this. So we'll start with Avengers versus New Ultimates number 6. This was disappointing for a couple reasons. One is that I wanted them to take, you know, obviously I realized that there's, you know, the Ultimate Spider-Man, and, you know, that now there's Ultimate Fallout. So that, you know, the death of Spider-Man is, you know, being played very heavily in the Ultimate Universe right now. But it just would have been nice to actually, I mean, because we, you know, what we're seeing here, what appears to be, okay, it's the, you know, the Ultimates, the Avengers at, you know, at the grave of Spidey. But no, they'll be, I'm sure, whatever, they'll be doing that in Ultimate Fallout. I don't know, I didn't grab that. But this was another disappointment, only because I love Leinil Yu as an artist. He's great. I think he's fantastic. But and it does kind of have to be a comparative scale, because Miller and Brian Hitch, I mean, they created the standard for the widescreen action comic. And there are some major widescreen action moments in this, basically when they go to North Korea to stop Gregory Stark's kind of hired guns from doing their overthrow of the government there. As Gregory puts it, he's trying to take S.H.I.E.L.D. global. It's basically world domination kind of shit. So, in the beats where you've got the Hulkified, Hawkeye and Punisher and Blade, that's fun stuff. And has a surprising ending for Gregory Stark. I didn't really see that coming, but it's just it's just good stuff. And the unfortunate resignation of Carol Danvers as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Unfortunate maybe, because obviously that it's allowing Nick Fury to step back in. But they also find out that that basically Gregory Stark's plan was, the whole thing in North Korea was kind of a ruse, because while they focused there, the real not attacks but kind of overthrowing came in the Middle East, around where the Triskelion is, or where it had to be teleported to. In the last in Miller's last Avengers arc, in order to kill all the vampires. He kind of won, and of course kind of lost. It's just once it gets down to the kind of I guess, if, like I said, the only complaint that I have is that Lenny Liu is not as great of an artist as Brian Hitch is when it comes to the big widescreen action. Like I said, that's my only real complaint, aside from I felt they could have dealt with the death of Spider-Man a little bit more. But like I said, that has its own series, and we'll probably see these guys in it. So, my kind of major disappointment this week, and again, it's hard to say because it's not major. So I retract that. The other kind of disappointment of this week is FF number 6. And it's disappointing in the sense that I don't get it. Jonathan Hickman is a very high concept author. And we'll talk about that probably in the next segment also. He doesn't do anything just kind of for shits and giggles. He puts a tremendous amount of thought, like his recent S.H.I.E.L.D. series that explores the kind of beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. throughout time. And, it's peppered with all these Easter eggs and everything like that of different Marvel characters throughout time. I stopped getting it after issue 6, where they kind of took a break, I guess, or something like that, because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. And some people have urged me to get back into it, and I might. But like I said, it's not that I have problems with anything, with just everything high concept, because I enjoy high concept. I mean, I think back to some of the stuff that I started reading in the 80s. When they started becoming, when comics started becoming more adult, and high concept, that was, kind of preeminent there. And it's gotten more so over the last decade. Like I said, it's not that I don't like it or respect it. It's just that I don't get it. Because it seems like, okay, I have to have read a lot of other, either FF or, a lot of other comics, because I think this is working off the War of Kings I think that's what it was called. That whole series where it's like, the the Inhumans and everything, and basically it looks like Black Bolt died apparently, and that's why his reveal in last issue was a big deal. See, I didn't know that, so I literally was like going in here blind. I had no idea what was going on. There's a lot of stuff with the Kree's supreme intelligence, hundreds of thousands of years ago, where scientists basically again, it's like I don't truly understand what the hell they did. And you have the accusers, like Ronan the Accuser, who he's I can never tell if he's like a hero or a villain. I know that he appeared. He was definitely kind of heroic, sort of. Well, I don't know. No, he was a bad guy in Nova, in the kind of recent run of Nova, and it's they basically they have these scientists create basically it's like they call it the metagenesis plan. And it's basically, they say that with each species, it says we've had a favorable outcome, and there's nothing that they cannot create a weapon from. And the Kree starts, then the Supreme Intelligence starts to kind of download all the data, and he sees his own end. He sees his own destruction, and possibly the destruction of the Kree race. It's never really, shown. It's never really understood. And then, basically, the Supreme Intelligence sends the accusers to, like, decimate all of the planets that they did all of this research on. But somehow it culminates in kind of the restructuring, the reformation of Black Bolt in this whatever. Again, I don't understand. It's like I feel dumb, but I'm sure that it makes a lot more sense to people who actually read some of that stuff. So if you were out there, you did read, if you read that, let me know, because I feel like I'm just kind of stabbing in the dark here, and I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling totally left out of the loop here. But we've got a lot more ground to cover, because we've got a lot more comics to cover. So we'll be back in just a few, so stick around.